From St. Pius X Church in Fairfield, Connecticut, this is Roar Like the Lamb.
Well, welcome back, Father Sam.
We keep having problems.
It's because we are the problem.
That's true. It's you and me. It's like we are the problem.
Yeah, I think that's a Taylor Swift song. Hi, it's me.
We don't have the rights.
Oh my gosh.
She's coming after us.
She's a billionaire. She's fine.
No, I mean, like, our schedules and things like that, and getting chaotic. And
I know, and you're getting ready to leave as well.
I am getting ready to leave. Yeah, It's gonna be fun.
So
I think you guys are gonna be so relieved when I leave.
No, because then who am I gonna vent to?
Well, for the month of June, you can at least vent via text to me.
I guess
and
I
then,
could. Yeah.
And then in July, it'll be spotty, but like I'll periodically be able to like respond to
You're
things
gonna
that
have
you say.
so many text messages when you come back into like cellular range.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The amount of gifs, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I'm a millennial. I don't know the difference. I don't know what is.
I always go with GIFs. I don't like the idea that it's GIFs. I don't think that's correct.
I say GIFs.
Why?
It just looks like you say GIF.
Well, I think but isn't the first word in that acronym graphic? So
I don't even know what it stands for. What does it stand for?
Graphic image
Figure?
Sure.
That sounds terrible.
I don't actually know what it stands for. I just know what it is. It's fun. It's a way of communicating. As Bobby Angel said, it's a love language.
That's so funny. So I was at dinner with our young adults small group the other day. Somebody was taking a photo and they asked, should I boomerang this? And this other person from the table goes, no, you don't boomerang. That's for like 35-year-olds. And I looked across the table and I was like, I'm going to be 34 in like 2 months. She's like, what?
Well, I'll just be the 40-year-old in the room here and say,
I know.
What is boomeranging a picture?
Oh, when you're on Instagram,
yeah,
it was really trendy 10 years ago when you would take a video of whatever you were doing. So usually people do when they're clinking glasses together. And as you take the video of it, it then uploads to where it's moving a lot faster and it's kind of like a boomerang. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. It just speeds up the action that you filmed to like a greater speed. And that is what became boomerang.
Okay.
So, and then it loops. Nobody does it anymore because it's not trending.
So
you don't do that on Instagram anymore.
I don't do anything on Instagram because I don't have Instagram.
No. I just thought it was so funny because then they looked at me and they're like, you're that old? And then the other girl next to her goes, wait a second. Are you like 1990? And I was like, yeah. She goes, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And I was like, what?
This is just wonderful to meet somebody from another century.
I couldn't believe. I was like, I'm definitely mom in this group. Mind you, I was like leading this group. So like they're a little bit on like the mid-20s.
Sure.
So they're a little bit on the younger side. And I was like, oh my gosh, what has happened to my life?
It's pretty impressive. I'll tell you what.
It was very strange. And then we spent forever talking about what it was like growing up in the 90s. And the obsession. Here's the thing. Gen Z, they are obsessed with millennials. And they are obsessed with the 90s. They're like, oh my gosh, that's so nostalgic. I'm like, you weren't even born. They're obsessed.
Well, I think it's similar to the way that, my era and yours, I suppose, in some way would have looked back at the 60s.
I guess.
We had a great fascination with Woodstock when I was a kid.
Yeah, but
the idea of
20 years, right? Of a difference.
So Woodstock was in 1969.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
So there's a. Okay. And then there was Woodstock 94, of course.
That one we don't talk about because that was bad.
No, Woodstock 94 was, but Woodstock 99 was the bad one.
Oh, that was a bad one.
Yeah.
I watched the documentary on that one.
Yeah, that one.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't a good scene.
No.
I wasn't there, just so we're clear. I had nothing to do with it.
Weren't you still in high school?
Yeah, I was a sophomore in high school, so I wasn't.
So you definitely weren't there.
I was not doing things like going to Woodstock.
Mike Kachuba would be like, absolutely not.
Right, correct. But all the bands that played there were like bands that I listened to all through high school.
That's true.
So
yeah.
There's that. Yeah, I think that there are things that are fascinating, endlessly fascinating to future generations, or like about past generations.
Mm-hmm.
So the younger generation looks back on things. Wow, that must have been really interesting, because they don't have a lived experience of it,
Yeah.
but they know people who did have a lived experience of it.
Mm-hmm.
And to know somebody who actually lived in it, you're like, wait a second, you guys actually did this?
What was it like to scrunch your hair with gel and then straighten out the front bang of your hair and then go out and be like, I look beautiful? Meanwhile, your foundation was like 3 shades too dark.
See, these are problems I never had.
No, it was never problems you had.
Yeah.
You did.
My foundation was never 3 shades too dark.
No, but you had frosted tips, though.
I did.
That is
that's
like
true.
one of the
That's
best
true.
things ever.
That's
so
true.
you did.
I did experience the 90s. Thank you.
You lived it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. No, it was. Yeah. I was there. I participated. I don't know if it was full conscious and active participation, but I was there.
Yeah, was that your choice or was that somebody else's choice on your behalf?
It was my choice.
Oh, it was your choice?
Yeah.
Okay. Who were you inspired by?
No, it was a thing.
I know.
It wasn't, it had nothing to do with celebrities. This is the thing. Like, everybody thinks it's all celebrities. No, everybody did something like that. It was tons of people in school had done that to their hair in some way. So it was like, oh, this is a cool thing to do. So it was.
How long was it frosted for?
Like the summer.
Oh, the summer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then it grew out and I cut it off.
What were your parents' reactions to this? I need to know.
Oh, it happened on my front porch. My cousin did it. This wasn't like a secret. Like, I went off and did it and came home and it was like, oh, look at this. My cousin was like, I can do that for you. All right. So I sat there and she did all the stuff. And
that's so awesome.
That was the end of it.
That's awesome.
No, I mean, it was a bad decision. In the grand scheme of decisions that I've made, frosted tips was high on the list of bad decisions.
Yeah, but it's like one of the best pictures ever on the internet.
It's amusing. That's true.
It's great.
And I think there are 2 extant pictures where you can see that the frosted tips are there.
If you were ever beatified, right? And then
that wouldn't be one of the pictures. No.
I mean, I don't know.
No, see, like, the priesthood part trumps like that he was once a young man. That goes into, like, maybe in the biography there'd be like a picture of, oh yeah, this is him as a child, and that's about it. One of his youthful pictures. But they, you notice too, like, any biography of a saint, if they lived in the era of photography, you're never going to see all of their school portraits.
No, you don't.
You're going to see maybe one school portrait. Even like famous people now, you don't see their freshman picture, their sophomore picture, their junior picture. You see the senior picture, and that's it.
So for you, is the frosted tip picture?
No, because actually, I guess, I don't know. I'm trying to remember now if you can see him or not. Of course, I don't have that picture, so it doesn't matter.
Who has it? I definitely have it saved on my phone because.
I mean, I don't think I have that picture in hard copy form.
Oh, no,
like,
yeah.
actually printed out, like, as a photograph. Which is how pictures used to come.
I know, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember I was like, we have like 20,000 photos. A lot of them are just repeats. And it's like, so I literally thought this. I was like, wow, it'd be really nice just to have a photo album where I could just like have one picture and just like look at it and not be so. Now what do? You buy storage space for your photos because you're like, I can't delete all of them. Because...
but it's the same practice, right? The photo album is storage space for your photos.
Yes, but
so we always bought storage space for our photos.
We did, but I feel like now it's an extreme amount of photos that we're holding on to.
I don't know, if you look back on the way that you took pictures, you wanted to make sure that you got at least one good one. So you take a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
And sometimes you never threw away the bad ones. They just didn't go in the photo album.
That's true.
They stayed in the envelope that went in the attic. And so again, storage space for your photos. And then 30 years later, you look at them and go, why did I keep this picture? And you throw them away.
That's true.
Just saying.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
So how does it feel to be old now, Paula?
Well, I was meeting with my old roommate for dinner this week, and I was like, oh my gosh, I understand what you say all the time now. I just kind of want to go home and take a nap and just be like, I don't need to socialize right now. I'm okay. I think she goes, oh my gosh, you're reaching my point of maturity.
Yeah.
I think I am, Amina, jokingly.
Yeah. Some of the kids at the youth group the other day were trying to get me to use their slang, or excuse me,
What are the new
not to
words?
use it. They wanted to know if I understood certain things, and they threw one. I genuinely don't remember what this word was that they used, but as soon as one of them said it, 4 of them said, "No, don't tell them that one." So I know that they had something bad.
No.
Yeah.
Who's the one who said it?
I
No,
don't.
we don't
I
rename.
don't even know. There were so many words getting thrown my way.
The one that I never
it became
understood.
indistinguishable.
Chuggy.
Never heard that
That's so chuggy. This is like 2018, I think.
one.
And they said it at a Life Teen conference.
So very dated.
It's dated. It's
Yeah.
it's old right now, but they used to refer to it as like, oh, that's so chuggy. Like it's cool. I was like, who came up with chuggy? It's a weird.
Never heard it. Wouldn't remember it if I did.
Yeah, I don't think it took off as much, so it kind of it was up there and then it died really quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
It didn't really last.
See, here's the thing. As they're throwing out these crazy words at me that don't make any sense, that have no formal form of like, they don't appear in a dictionary anywhere, and it will be, yeah, we'll look back on those kinds of slang terms and kind of wonder what was going on. In much the same way that you look back on some of the slang terms that were used in the 60s or the 70s and go, oh yeah, we stopped using that, and we stopped using those words for a reason, you know, and I'm glad that we did, right? I think that as they're asking me, as these teenagers are asking me if I know their slang, I think they were relieved that I didn't.
They're like, great, we can speak in code.
I don't think that's the reason. Like, I mean, it could be, but I don't think that's the reason. I think they were like relieved because they don't actually need me to do that.
No, they just need you to be there.
They don't mind like teasing that I'm old,
Mm-hmm.
right? They get that,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't mind telling them that I'm old. The thing is that I'm in the same age group as their parents now, and so they just kind of put me in that category. Even though with the high school kids, I'm younger than all their parents.
Yeah.
But the middle school kids and the little kids, like not so much. This mom came up to me at we had a parent session for the confirmation kids. And this mom came up to me and she says, I don't know if you remember me. And I looked at her, no, I don't remember you. And she says, we went to high school together.
No way.
We weren't in the same class.
Oh.
I was like a class ahead of her.
Yeah.
And so I'm racking my brain trying to remember, like, vaguely familiar now that you said that we went to the same high school, but I don't know. So I went and I pulled out the old yearbook and I looked through and I found her picture. She looks exactly the same. First of all, identical. She hasn't changed. And I'm like, but I looked in the yearbook and I'm like, oh, I know exactly who that is.
That's so
I saw it in the yearbook and I knew I saw her in person, had no clue.
Oh.
So I don't know what's wrong with me, but in any case, I think it's that, like, that reminder that the young people don't need us to be young.
They just need us to be us.
They need us to care about them. Yeah. They need us to be real, to be authentic.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
don't worry if you don't know all the weird slang of what's the generation called now? Are they
Z.
the Zoomers?
Is that what they're described as?
Yeah.
Because they're off like
No,
dogs
like
have
Gen
zoomies?
Z Zoomers.
Oh, Zoom. Oh.
I think that's it. I could be wrong about that.
I was
open to
equating it with
correction.
like zoomies, like when pets have zoomies and they start running around like crazy.
No, because if there's anything that people worry about with the, let's say, kids in middle school and high school era, like the thing that they worry about for them is that they don't run around enough.
That's true.
That they're so locked in on screens that they don't go outside. Exactly. They don't have the zoomies. They forgot how to have them.
So they need to be the zoomy generation.
I think the Zoomers is because of Zoom and the fact that they spent at least a year on Zoom doing.
Is that how they decided the Z?
No,
because
I think
it's connected to Zoom.
No, I think it was because they had gone through X and Y and like generation me / millennials, and they're like, let's just go to Z and be done with it. I don't know.
What comes afterwards? Beta?
I think that's when the world ends and it all comes crashing down.
Well, it's time to go home anyways. But Jesus said,
I am curious though, like, what are they going to call like the other generations? That's a good, because I think we have to stop using letters.
Mm-hmm.
Numbers won't really work. There's going to have to be, I think we have to wait and see what the generation is like. So millennials was easy because it was those
Millennium.
who came of age around the millennium.
Yeah.
So we kind of knew these who are like, there's this age group right here, right before and right after the new millennium begins. So that was an easy generation to
Do you think
describe.
they're going backwards? The next generation is going to be Y?
No, because we already had Gen
Oh,
Y.
we did. Oh, wait. Then I have no idea.
So originally the millennials were sort of Gen Y because they came after Gen X.
Right.
And then they realized millennials is a way better name.
Yeah. I like it. Gives us a personality.
Or not.
Or not.
Or not. Just describes a rough time in which we were born. Because then
Calamity? No.
I mean,
worries.
like, I'm sorry, when I say rough time, I mean like a rough sketch, not like it was a difficult time. It was. There were difficult things that happened. But
yes.
the issue then is that you have within the millennial generation, you have so many different groups.
Mm-hmm.
And so the experiences of like my part of the millennial generation, radically different than your part of the millennial generation.
I know, because you're an elder millennial.
Exactly. Or an Xennial.
Oh.
They call that the micro generation.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
those who like kind of bridge the gap between Gen X and the millennials who like don't really remember not having the internet,
Mm-hmm.
but who also didn't have a cell phone until college.
Mm-hmm. I didn't have a cell phone until I was 16.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I was fine with that. That was pretty good. Well then, enough about generations. How are you feeling about sabbatical?
Very much looking forward to it. This is going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a good time.
What do you feel like is your theme or your prayer?
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the first piece of it, because I'll be working with Catholic Heart Work Camp, is I'm actually very excited. So before I get into any kind of prayer stuff with that, I'm very excited about being able to contribute something to the staff at Catholic Heart.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do some of their staff training, and we're going to talk a lot about spiritual life and structuring prayer in the midst of busyness
Mm-hmm.
and in the midst of days that can be very, very hectic for them. Like how to really make sure that there's some kind of structure in the spiritual life as well. And I think that kind of plays into like a whole theme of integration,
Mm-hmm.
that we've done a lot with through the Catholic Psych Institute,
Yeah.
this idea of integrating all this stuff so that it's not just, okay, this is my prayer life over here on this side, and then this is everything else that I do. And that all kind of melds together, but I somehow have to keep my prayer life separate till I realize, no, actually prayer life can really come together. And then also you've got these teams of young men and women who are working together, and to really cultivate that sense of, this is how you guys can be a good team. This is how you guys can talk to one another. This is how you can work through different things together. And so to try to help them to kind of bond as they do it. So I'm looking forward to that. Excited about being able to contribute something. And then interested to see just what a month of Catholic Heart is actually like. I know what a week. I even know what 2 consecutive weeks is like.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But add that third consecutive week, and I'm like, ooh, I'm kind of thinking about just
And
how
you
tired
travel
I
with
might.
them, right?
I'm going to travel with them. Yeah.
Okay, where are you traveling to?
Champaign, Illinois, Montague, Michigan, and Billings, Montana, in that order.
Are they staying at the Catholic Center of Champaign?
No.
Oh, that's a really nice place.
Yeah. I've been there because my classmate is the chaplain there.
Oh, right.
Father Rob Lampett.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't know exactly. I just talked to them yesterday about where I'll be and what they need from me.
Okay.
So working out kind of the final details of like exactly where I'm staying for that. But it's going to be fun. I'm curious. I was looking at the map and trying to figure out how we'd get from Montague to Billings and like what route we take, because we'd be in Michigan.
Right.
On the side of the mitten.
Thank you.
Right.
It's so helpful.
And so I'm looking at, all right, where do we go then? How do we get to where we need to go? And I'm thinking we'll just drive down and through Chicago, like down under Illinois through Illinois rather, and then cut up towards and head over towards Billings, like through one of the Dakotas.
How long is that?
That's like a 20-hour drive.
Yeah. That's
an overnight. That's an overnight. But as I was looking at that, Google Maps showed me a ferry that you could take. I'm like, okay, so I could take a ferry across Lake Michigan, Lake Superior.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one.
Yeah.
So there's a ferry that you can take across. That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Except that the ferry takes 2.5 hours, and so I put in again like what it would look like, and I think the ferry saves 30 minutes
That's
out of the total drive time. And I'm like, maybe it's not really worth the ferry trip and the cost.
not really worth
I
it.
think we're just going to drive it,
Mm-hmm.
so we'll see. I don't know. But then the July and August portion, when I'm quieter in terms of work, because July and August I'm at the ranch in Wyoming. Something that came up during the summit at Catholic Psych was just recognizing some of the things that with my capstone, working with priests and trying to build something that will be really helpful and really truly serve priests well. I think a big part is going to be kind of working through some of those ideas and doing some reading about some of the stuff. And yeah, I was actually starting to outline during the summit a couple of talks or conferences or papers. I don't know what they'll be exactly, but like things that I want to make sure that I try to talk about. If we're going to put together maybe a presentation, or if we're to put together a day of recollection for priests,
right?
What would a day of recollection look like? Trying to distill down everything that you do in the healing work of mentorship and in the spiritual work of mentorship, even in the educational work, right? How would you distill that down into something that can be digested in one day? And so that's, I think, going to be a part of the sabbatical as well. And so for that, there's going to be a lot of review, which means also then a lot of prayer, because everything that we're doing, it's like just going back into your own heart and saying, all right, Lord, what do you want here? But also there's got to be some discernment, because I think with anything like that, with any kind of, it's really discerning what is it that the priests will need. And so asking the Holy Spirit to guide that understanding and to give some shape, so that if I'm going to come up with anything, I'm coming up with something that's useful.
Wow. That's beautiful, though.
Yeah.
That's really good. We all said after the summit that it was like the culmination was obviously the retreat, because we got to process it. But
yeah, by the way, the summit, the Catholic Psych Institute put on a 1-day summit of integration with some great speakers like Mother Natalia, Dr. Jerry Crete, Dr. Paul Vitz. And it was really a wonderful day. I didn't get to stay for the retreat for the students in the CPMAP certification, unfortunately, but Paula did.
It was very chill. I didn't cry as much. I literally looked at Barbara Bertaro and she goes, "Oh my gosh, you're here." I was like, "Yes, I'm here." And then I made a comment. I was like, "Yeah, I'm definitely not going to wear makeup tomorrow because I don't know what the situation is going to be on my face." Turns out it was fine. I cried for like a couple moments and that was it. But it wasn't like crazy like the last two retreats. So it was good. Yeah, it was really, really good. What was really cool was Mother Natalia. She gave this really great talk. Well, first, I will say this part first. During the retreat, Dr. Brian asked everybody in the room if Mother Natalia was their favorite speaker. And all of the women raised their hand and one man. So that just really showed she really got to our hearts and she really broke us. And
I would have given Mother Natalia my vote, though. I'm not going to lie.
You would have been the second person.
Yeah.
Because then Dr. Brian was like, "So why did you, as a man, say yes?" And all the other guys in the room was like, "Probably not." But they were all very good, powerful talks. And her focus, the thing that stuck out to me was her discussing Eustace Stubbs' like story of becoming a dragon and having to confront his own ugliness, and actually the temptation to despair because of your own self-reliance. So like, I'm going to be the one to heal myself. I'm going to be the one to like rescue myself. And you just keep going and going and going and you're trying and trying and trying until then he allows Aslan to look at him, and he has to allow Aslan to descale him, to take off, make him into a real boy. And then she sang a really, really beautiful song. That's when I started crying. I was like, great. But it was so amazing how God's providence through that. It came up with one of my clients this week, and she started talking all about Eustace. And I was like, I know what you're talking about. This is so great. So it just like, it was a really cool connection, because I felt like after this weekend, there were so many graces, but this week feels like an uncovering of those graces.
Yeah.
That's what this week feels like. It's like, wow. And it wasn't like, like some retreats, especially when you're early in your conversion and you're early in your walk with the Lord, super high highs, right? And then you get home and it's like a super low low. You're like, I don't even know if God exists. Like, what was the point of all of that? And obviously, as you mature in the spiritual life, you actually even out. You're a little bit more relaxed about it. And it was interesting to see my own experience of it. It wasn't super high highs. It was just like I'm here, God is here, and I'm learning more things about myself that need healing and that need surrendering, and just kind of an awareness of it, and how that has continued through this week of just, wow, the Lord is like, Saint Joseph is stalking me,
Cool.
which is really cool.
Okay.
So that's been really amazing to grow deeper in my relationship with Saint Joseph since the weekend, and more things just keep kind of going. And so it just kind of makes me think about how there's like a discipline to prayer. There's a discipline necessary for like just maintaining that relationship with God. But it's just kind of kept thinking about all the times in the past where I've just doubted his goodness after retreat, or I've doubted his like provisions, or I've doubted his presence. And I guess the more and more you kind of go on different retreats and you go on different experiences like this, the more you become humbly aware that he's always been there.
Mm-hmm.
He's always been present. He's always giving grace. He's always talking to you. He's not withholding himself. And the humility to kind of like actually realize it's not me who makes this happen. It's God gives it because he desires to. I can't make him give more or give less. So that's kind of some of the things that I've been just like thinking about. And then, at the same time, just thinking about different conversations you have with people in the parish, and like, they might have like a beautiful experience one time here, and it's like, it's easy to kind of fall to the side of like, oh, this is going on in my life, or this kind of derailed me, or this has become difficult. So I just a thought.
There's something special that happens when, having gone on retreat, you start seeing the fruits of that retreat kind of immediately, but in your day-to-day life. It's not just reflecting back on the experience, which reflecting back gives you the happy memory, which kind of brings you some joy and some consolation, but like looking at the stuff that happened over the course of a retreat, and then seeing how, oh wait, I'm seeing this grace kind of confirmed right in front of me, or I'm relating this experience right now back to something that I experienced on retreat, which is helping me to deal with what's right in front of me at this moment.
Right.
Or you're in a pastoral situation, somebody comes to you and you realize that the thing they need to hear is actually the thing that you just learned on the retreat, and you get to share that with them.
I love that.
Yeah,
yes.
that's a powerful experience.
It was really cool.
Very
so
nice.
With that, I think this is where my heart feels like such a movement towards, in terms of parish outreach this year, is really a focus towards like providing more of those retreat experiences, and like, creating a calendar and a schedule so that it's like we have these things coming up in different seasons, so that there's always something for people to go to. So it's just, and I just kind of like, what does that look like in terms of accompanying, parishioners, and accompanying them in like the ebb and flow of daily life, of family life, and all of those things.
Yeah.
So, because we always need reminders. We're really good at forgetting.
What?
That was good.
That was good, right? That was good.
A part of me, the gullible part, was like, wait, what?
You don't be gullible.
That's not ever going to happen.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
It's a part of who I am.
It's a good part. We
To an
appreciate
extent.
that part.
Yeah, it's a foolish part.
That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm trying very hard not to count days to when I have to leave.
That's good. Apparently, Kathy has a calendar in the kitchen by the water cooler.
Oh, really?
Oh, you haven't noticed it?
No.
I noticed it yesterday. She took a calendar for the month of May, taped it to the bottom, and I was like, why is there a calendar with some dates X'd out? And she goes, oh, that's Father Sam's countdown. I'm like, why is it there? She moved it. So now it's like by the empty like water cooler, like gallon thingies.
That's awesome.
And I was like, okay, so you're not going to try, but when you have to go get water, don't look to the left.
I'm going to notice it all the time now.
Yeah, now you're going to.
That's really funny. No, I mean, I'm trying not to have a countdown, because I want to stay present
Yeah.
to the things that need to be taken care of here, now.
Yeah.
There are real things going on, and I have real responsibilities here, and I want to make sure. At the same time, I need the countdown, and so I'm kind of trying to balance that. I need the countdown because there's the preparation that we have to do, looking at the calendar, looking at things for the summer, making sure that Father Brendan's got all the stuff that he's going to need, and that we've been able to talk through different situations that he might have to deal with, and to know what to do, and hopefully nothing is crazy. And I, of course, trust him. And I know that he's capable of doing all of the stuff. It's not like and he can also pick up the phone and call somebody, right? It's not like, it's not like there's anything that's so crazy. I'm the only one who could possibly know the answer, he's going to be fine. But there is a lot of preparation that has to happen. And so the countdown is actually helpful for knowing how much time there is, in fact, for that preparation, and how little time there is for that preparation.
Like 2 weeks.
Basically, that's what I really have. Yeah.
Yeah. That's weird.
It's a little bit more than 2 weeks.
A little more.
A little more. But then again, I'm also gone Memorial Day weekend.
Oh, okay.
Because I have a wedding out in Illinois. So I'll be away for that. But back for the week. So Memorial Day, Monday through Friday, I will be here. And but that week is kind of a wash, because during that week, there's like all the last minute stuff that I have to get. So just for supplying, because I'm driving. Yeah. So making sure that I've got all the stuff that I need.
Does Duke have his own like snack station in the car?
No, because I don't know if you've seen Duke actually eat more than just a snack.
No, I've never actually seen him eat a meal.
So, well, if you've seen how he eats a dog treat. Okay. You know how long that takes? How long a dog treat takes him to eat?
What kind of?
It's in the tenths of a second range.
Right. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Because he swallows it.
Right. Exactly. So you can't really have a snack station because he can't control himself. The snack station will be gone. If there's access for him to food in any way, shape, or form in the car, there will be no food within 5 minutes.
You should send us gone. You should send us selfies of you and Duke just out on the open road, and then we'll post it on the parish Instagram.
Okay.
That's literally why.
I can do that.
I need content.
I can do that. Where in the world is Father Sam?
Sam and Duke.
Yeah. I can do that. I can do that.
That would be really great.
The other thing, so driving across country, I have a thing. The last time I went, a few years ago, Father Mike Novajewski and I drove out to Montana together, and we made the agreement that anytime we saw a sign for world's largest anything, if it was within like 20 miles of us, we would stop and see it.
That's good.
So it wouldn't be a crazy jaunt out of our way, but be like, this will be cool. So we saw the world's largest Czech egg.
Checked egg?
So like, the Ukrainian Easter eggs?
Yes.
So the Czechs do something
Czech.
similar. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like there was
sorry,
Czech.
CZE.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I was like, someone put a Czech.
So very similar type of an artwork and everything. And so there's like a 30-foot tall Czech egg in the middle of Kansas.
It's so random.
Yeah, it's exactly right. It's so random.
Was there a big Czech population there?
Apparently. I didn't know, but we found it.
Weird.
We saw there's a like 60-foot tall Jolly Green Giant statue in Minnesota. And it's where the Jolly Green Giant vegetable company used to be.
Oh, yeah. I think I was actually Canadian.
Yeah. And then there's in Metropolis, Illinois, down like in southern Illinois, there's the town of Metropolis, which is about the size of my office here.
I was thinking Megamind, but
no, it's very small. So Metropolis has a giant Superman statue because Superman is from Metropolis.
Oh.
Right? And so we stopped to see the giant Superman statue. But I was looking at some possible places where I might go, and there's like a place in North Dakota that has the world's largest buffalo. It's just a giant buffalo sculpture.
Oh, wow.
So like I might have to go to North Dakota and see the world's largest buffalo.
Okay. That's pretty
Things
cool.
like that.
So those are definitely the photos we need.
Okay. We don't want to give away the entire social media strategy for St. Pius X Parish.
There is not much of a strategy. Don't worry about it. I wear too many hats, so it all depends.
It's awesome.
Not really. It's not that awesome, but I do what I can.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I do what I can.
Oh,
All right,
man.
well, I got nothing else. I need a coffee.
Yeah,
And
I'm feeling the
I'm
same
the one
way.
saying that.
No, I know for you to say that you need coffee is insane.
I know.
For me, not so much, but I feel the same way.
Yeah.
It's been a week.
Yeah.
It's good though. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. All right, thanks, Paolo.
And thank you, Padre. Peace.
Goodbye.
Hasta later.
Roar like the lamb.
Yeah. I'm kidding.